All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our YouTube channel. My name's Brittany.
I'm Jonathan.
And we decided to go ahead and make another video because our first one was about an hour long, maybe, or close to that, talking about movies. You just get so excited and say a bunch of things, so we figured we'd try to make one a little bit shorter. So on our channel, we'll cover movies, games, wrestling, pops, collectibles, all kinds of stuff. And for this episode, if you cannot tell, we will be talking about wrestling. On this one, we decided to go ahead and list maybe some of our top 10 favorite wrestlers. I don't know. Mine seems to be a little bit more current of a list. I'm not
Well,
sure
we're doing our top 10 current, not of all time. So our top 10 current, and we're doing strictly WWE and NXT. We know New Japan's great. We know all that other stuff's great. But there's only so much time in a week for wrestling, so we're narrowing it down to just WWE and NXT.
All right. So you want to get started?
Yeah. So I'll do mine once again. This top 10 is in no order except for my number one, because he's the greatest of all time. But anyways, I'll start out with my number 10, and that's going to be Naomi, who has kind of caught me off guard the past couple years, and I feel like has been a natural like kind of career turnaround story for her, on camera and in real life. Of course the new entrance is cool and it's flashy and her dance moves are killer and it wears me out just watching it. But she's just someone who it's cool to watch someone, try to figure it out and really come up with something to get them to that next step. And I always feel like she's kind of adding new moves into her rotation. Just to try things out. I think she, unfortunately she had to work, but for Money in the Bank, I actually think she stole the show for the women's Money in the Bank. Just the things she's able to do. So athletic,
super athletic,
good looking, cool moves. Doesn't hurt that she's married to one of the Usos. She's awesome. So she's starting out my list.
Yeah, have to agree. Great choice. So I'm going to go ahead and start my list with one of my favorites. I'd probably say my favorite right now, and that is Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Like, he's amazing, and I think since we really started to get back into it a few years back, he's been awesome. Jumping from the Shield immediately into a solo role and just killing it. Like, his humor, his smirk, his, ability on the mic and in the ring. He's just all around great. It's rare that you come across someone, especially I think so young in maybe his career, that is just that awesome. And then to see him for a while there after his injury, it seemed like he was in an odd spot. Still loved him, but it's nice to see him kind of getting that back and, really see that he's able to be a bad guy or a good guy. And either way, you love him. And I'm so thankful that they brought back the Stomp, the Blackout, whatever they're calling it right now. But I love it because that just fits him. And I think it's really exciting to see him getting his mojo back.
Yeah. So second one on my list is going to be AJ Styles. Once again, we're kind of in our WWE bubble. We listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts and stuff, so of course we know who AJ Styles was, but I couldn't tell you anything about him. Really, since the night he debuted at the Royal Rumble a few years ago, he's just been on fire. This dude's putting on classic matches. He had one with Lesnar. He's had a couple with Roman. Those matches with John Cena. The last man standing match with Nakamura, last week, Money in the Bank, whatever. He's just classic. Great promo, killer look, one of the best in the ring. Not much else to say.
Yeah, and AJ's on my list as well. Since he debuted, it was just basically sold. Like, had no idea who he was myself, but that pop from the crowd was like, oh, okay, like this guy. And then since then, just amazing. I think someone, again, almost like how you were talking about Naomi, like he's always introducing, I think, and trying new things. And I feel like he's just someone you can almost pair with anybody, and it's going to be a great match. So definitely love AJ Styles.
And I'm glad he's champion on one show since we got Brock on the other.
And I'm sure we'll be covering, 2K... WWE 2K.
Oh yeah, he's on the cover of 2K19.
So I'm sure we'll be covering that with him on there.
Had Rollins last year.
Yeah, so
AJ this year, well deserved.
Right. I guess since I piggybacked off of you, I'll go ahead and go. I'm going to go with Dean Ambrose. So while he is missing in action right now and, hopefully coming back soon from his injury, I think he was somebody so underrated or at least to me, when the Shield was together, I don't know if it's just because of his just kind of average Joe kind of look. He didn't stand out to me so much in the Shield, and there's other people who might disagree, but for myself, I think also we started watching later than most people when the Shield was together.
We came back at WrestleMania 30, just to give you kind of a parameter of when we came back, so we missed the Shield debut, and probably what seems to be a lot of him kind of taking the lead role in the Shield, so we missed that. We started WrestleMania 30 and have been watching since. Of course, we watched way back in the day, but that was our kind of return.
Back up, but yeah, I love his energy. I love that he's crazy, and I love that. I always tell him, like, I don't know if he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a good guy. I just think he's just someone that's really fun, and he's just, I mean, I don't know. He's just a fun character, and I think still one of our favorite scenes with him is when he is dressed up as the
as the Mountie with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so it's just that was an interesting side to see of him, because sometimes I feel like he's so serious and kind of crazy, and so it was nice to see a little funny scene from him. But definitely awesome and ready for him to come back.
Yep. So next on mine is actually going to be Adam Cole from NXT.
Baby!
Undisputed Era. When they first showed up, I thought they looked cool and they seemed great in the ring, but I wasn't necessarily super sold on them. But they have completely won me over. I mean, I don't know if it was, the War Games match or just watching them over time. I mean, their little hand signal is growing on me. Their music's growing on me. But Adam Cole to me really sticks out. Great in the ring. Glad he won the North American Championship in that outstanding ladder match at the TakeOver before last. But he's really high on my list right now.
All right, so I'm going to jump to Dolph Ziggler. So I know when we first started watching back again, that was actually, I think, my guy at the time. I thought he was somebody who wasn't really getting the chances he deserved, and still kind of that way, but I'm so happy. If you're watching now, it seems like he's moving in the right direction. Just actually beat my boy Seth Rollins, so that was tough but exciting, because
nice surprise.
Yeah, because Dolph Ziggler definitely, I think, deserved that. It's like, I want that guy deserves to be, I think, near to the top, because he's another guy, great performer in the ring. I'm not really sure where he fell off, but I think he's very exciting to watch, and I think, get rid of his music scratch thing going on. Just bring back his old music, or maybe just give him a different music. But that record scratch has got to go. But definitely, I enjoy watching him. I think another one that I'd enjoy. I feel like you could pair him with anybody, or put him and Seth Rollins had a killer match. Him and I don't know has he done stuff with AJ Styles, I think. Yeah, so it's just, he's definitely somebody that I look forward to seeing with some of my other favorites, because I feel like that he's great in the ring, great ring awareness.
Yeah. Interesting pairing with him and Drew McIntyre too.
Yes.
So my next one is actually Braun Strowman. And when this dude showed up with the Wyatt family or whatever, it's like, all right, another big dude. Okay. But, I mean, this past week Raw was good. But, it was struggling there for a few months. But I feel like Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins are holding down Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
Everything Braun Strowman does to me is funny. Whether it's flipping over ambulances or throwing Roman Reigns on a stretcher off a ledge in the back, hilarious. Playing that huge bass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to get these hands thing. I mean, the stuff with him and Alexa Bliss is so funny to me. The ride-along episode with them two is great if you haven't watched it.
Just a
just
great
super
surprise.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the whole package to me. I love when he's out there. I'm like dying for him while he's got all this momentum to get the title sometime soon. I'm hoping. But Braun Strowman for sure is a highlight of Raw.
Yeah, he's awesome. All right, so next up I'm going with Charlotte Flair. Woo! She is, I think she's just killer. I really, think that they made a wise decision to immediately almost turn her heel. I think that she definitely needed that. And I think since then she's just been on a run and she's going, and I don't see an end in sight for her. She is so incredibly athletic and, great on the mic. I think sometimes when you have somebody who could fall into the shadows of their parents, it's interesting, but I think she's worked so hard and really kind of set herself apart from that in a way. There's still stuff that she uses of his, but it's you don't feel like, she doesn't deserve it. She's really,
not living off him.
Yeah, she's awesome, and I think she could stand alone without the Flair name. But she's amazing in the ring, and I'm definitely excited that they went ahead, turned her heel, and then have her kind of, going back and forth good, because I think, I wasn't completely feeling her when she first came up, but now I love her, and I think she's phenomenal, so can't wait to see how far her career goes.
So my next one, he's actually doing stuff in New Japan right now, but it's Chris Jericho. I mean, one of the greatest of all time. Whether it's a list, a scarf, a jacket, this dude can make anything entertaining. Still putting on great matches. Just what was it, Raw 25, that backstage segment with him and Elias is funny. The stuff with him and Kevin Owens. Just great. Festival of Friendship was amazing. Glad he's still up and running because he's still great.
He's awesome. I'm gonna go with Finn Balor next. So, Finn. I think actually when he first introduced him to me on NXT, it was when he was all in his makeup and crawling, and I was like, what is this? Okay, this is a little extra. I hope he doesn't do this every time he comes out, which thank goodness, because while it's cool, I think that'd get old really quick. But watching him in the ring, that's another guy really, really great. And right now, I feel like he's definitely lost some momentum, and I think it's just all a little weird right now on Monday night, and the championship belt, universal championship belt not being present has kind of got some weird things going on for sure. Yeah. But I think Finn is definitely incredible. I think he has a little work to do on the mic maybe, but other than that, in ring he's awesome. And I think once we get out of this weird awkwardness around the title belt, I think that it'll be smooth sailing and we'll see him make his way back up top.
So let's see, next one for me. My favorite tag team, and that's going to be the Usos. Every match they're in is must-see. Every promo they cut is must-see. They were out there against Sanity and Sanity's debut this past week. But, really the Usos, you talk about, really similar to Naomi. The Usos, we've always liked them, when they were in the face paint and a little more upbeat. Then they got paired with Roman, and then everybody's booing them. And, they have just completely changed character. The way they go back and forth with each other on the mic and their promos seems so fluid. They are just, every time their music hits, I'm staring at the TV, can't wait.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and piggyback off of that. The Usos are definitely amazing. Like he said, we've always been a fan. And then I think the pairing of him with Roman, them with Roman kind of, took them back a little bit. But to see them regain that was very exciting because they deserve it. They're amazing on the mic and they're amazing in the ring. And almost, I want to say, the pairing them with Roman and them kind of getting lost kind of maybe help them out because what they're doing right now is really awesome. And I think their promos, their promos right now are just awesome, and how fluid they are and back and forth with each other. Yes, they're brothers and twins, and so maybe that's why, but I just still think that that's amazing how fluid they're able to go back and forth so well and effortlessly within those promos together.
Look no further than their feud with The New Day, where they somehow managed to make a rap battle segment watchable. You just knew that was going to be horrible, then it ends up being pretty funny. Them dropping the line about Xavier Woods and Paige's tape is hilarious. And then you go watch that Hell in a Cell match. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
awesome.
They're number one right now.
So since I piggybacked off of him, I'll go next, and it's going to be Aleister Black. I think his music right now is actually some of my favorite, with the exception of Burn It Down when the crowd says it for Seth Rollins. But his music is just really, I love it. It's definitely one of my favorites. His moves in the ring are awesome. I think his look is very unique. And I also, he doesn't have to say much, but when he does talk, you want to listen. So I think he's going to be someone very exciting when they do decide to bring him up, but also someone that I hope they don't mess up, because I think he's a really special character right now, and I enjoy watching him in the ring, and I almost kind of hope they keep him where he's at for a little while longer until things get figured out up top.
Yeah, that match with him and Andrade Cien Almas was incredible.
Yeah.
So my next is Velveteen Dream. Just his promo, his look, his swagger. Just his reactions in the ring, the way he sells. His moves are great. Just the way he walks to the ring, and he's just got like a stature and a stance about him that is so unique. I mean, that match with Ricochet was incredible. The ladder match he was in was incredible. That feud with Aleister Black.
That's awesome.
I mean, he is so young and so new, but he is already on everybody's radar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to be special.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think he kind of is taking a character that maybe not many people could pull off, and it's unique, and he's definitely making a name for himself.
Yeah.
So next I'm going to go with Nikki Cross. One of my favorite things about her right now is I think she's unique to some of the other female characters that we see. I love that she's crazy and she's grungy, and I think sometimes all of what we really kind of see is they're all in shorter kind of costumes and revealing costumes and have hair extensions, and that's not her, and I love that. And then I think I really kind of got to hear her really talk during that last fight with what's her name?
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, and I was like, that's her voice. Like, that made her character that more interesting to me. So I'm definitely excited to see where they go with her, and I hope that she's someone who doesn't get lost either if they decide to bring her up. But I hope they actually keep her in NXT for a while, because I again love that she is different from the other girls that we see on TV and has that grunginess to her. And I think, kind of to me, she's like the Dean Ambrose, but a lady. So
kind of wish she debuted with Sanity, but
yeah. Well,
it is.
Maybe we'll get her at some point, hopefully.
And since I stole some of yours, I'm actually just going to run out my last three, so we'll be even up here. So Seth Rollins is in that three. I mean, we already talked about it, whether it was heel champion Seth Rollins with the blonde streak and J&J Security, he's excellent. Intercontinental Championship, his run has been excellent. When he went over an hour in that gauntlet match a few hours ago has been excellent. I mean, you can just tell the crowd loves him. He's the number one dude on Raw right now to me, regardless of the title or who they want. I feel like Seth is kind of everybody's guy right now, and that's the same with me. Someone who really caught my attention when we came back at WrestleMania 30, and that's Randy Orton. I know some people seem a little wore out on him. He's been around for so long, but I guess maybe since we had a break, he's still fresh to me. Yeah. I mean, seeing him at WrestleMania 30 come out with both titles, he's got a killer look. RK out of nowhere. Somehow, after like 3 years and all the memes, is still funny. And the way that he works with these other guys to find new creative ways to do it. I mean, just love him. He's on my top list. And then my number one of all time, of course, is The Undertaker. To me, he's the greatest of all time. Still around, even though he's like 150 years old. Not really, but I'm glad he's still around. I mean, he is one of those people who, in the late 90s, of course, Attitude Era, when most people watched, is really kind of what got me hooked into his character. I was kind of drawn to him immediately. He's so different, so unique. The way he moves for such a big wrestler. He's got a cool set of moves, his finisher, his demeanor, everything about him. He's changed himself up enough over the years to where it hadn't gotten stale. And now I think he's the perfect type of character just to see every so often. I mean, I kind of understand where he's at now. I don't want him there being the champion or anything like that, but I thought that match with Rusev was good at Greatest Royal Rumble. Super entertaining. Getting Aiden English involved was awesome. But he's my number one all time.
Yeah, great choice. Would have definitely known that. And I'm going to finish off with Shinsuke. So, great music, really.
Even the remix.
The remix is really exciting, which, great idea to change it for heel Shinsuke. I mean, that was a smart move. But I think he's really kind of become a joy to watch as heel Shinsuke. Definitely someone we knew that everybody was excited about. I just think you had to kind of do something with him, and I think that heel turn was very, very wise. Him saying he doesn't speak English, or it wasn't counted out in Japanese, like just little things like that, and the low blows, all that's really exciting to see. And he's I think really, really good in the ring as well, and I'm definitely excited to see where they take him, but I think that heel turn was definitely something much needed. And while we're on heel turns, I just want to say, how are we getting everybody a heel turn and still no Roman Reigns heel turn? Every time somebody turns heel, I look at him and I say, and still no Roman Reigns heel turn. So it's like they're just so stubborn on that. So, but yeah, Shinsuke is definitely
what a breath of fresh air for him. I mean, he was great in NXT, but was so stale on SmackDown there for a
Yeah.
while. I mean, he lost a couple times to Jinder Mahal for a title match, and then just really seemed to go nowhere. And then so I was so happy to see that at WrestleMania finally, and he's been so entertaining.
Yeah.
I know we're not supposed to like him, but
we
it's
do.
hard not.
But yeah, so those are some of our favorite wrestlers.
And we know we left some out. I mean, Becky Lynch, unfortunately, got left out. Sasha, I mean, I know there's tons of women we left out, but I mean,
Right.
even Andrade Cien Almas, I wanted to put on mine. I think The Miz deserves to be on there. He's been like MVP the past year and a half or something.
So we know the New Day's been. I mean, they just when you think their gimmick's getting old, they find a way to make it awesome again, or
they'll
make
have
you laugh
that feud
or
with
whatever.
the Usos, and then all of a sudden you're right back in them.
Right.
So we know we missed some, but that's
Yeah.
our top 10. So let us know what your favorites are in the comments.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye.